Hello YouTube, this is ChardarYuGiOh, and today I want to talk about why anti-meta doesn't really seem to exist in this game anymore. Last weekend, Corey McDuffie tried to take on ARG Orlando with a deck he called Scythe Control based on the Traptrix monsters and artifact Scythe, and he did extremely well with it versus Burning Abyss and Qliphort, but kinda suffered against Shadalls. There was a bunch of Evil Swarm decks last format that never really did anything, but main decks like 3 Pulling the Rug, 3 Blackhorn, Defissure, Macro, Emptiness, just every anti-meta card you can think of, just to try to control the meta. A while back, there was a YCS that Courtney Wallace topped with a deck he called Chaos Control, which was just a deck with a ton of cards specifically chosen that were very good against the meta. But you don't really see many decks like this anymore, and even still you don't see them succeeding very well. And I think a big part of that is at least this format is just too diverse. Shadalls and Burning Abyss have a lot of the same weaknesses, but Denko Dolls really hurt any idea of really strong back row. Because a card called Denka Sekka exists, you can't really do anything like just play a huge heavy trap deck. Because if they open the Denka Sekka and you don't have a warning, you've pretty much just lost that game already because all of your cards are dead. So Denka Sekka on itself hurt anti-meta decks really badly. But the other issue is Qliphorts, which die to back row. Anything that tries to rush out in OTK, Qliphorts do that better than anything. So decks like Mermail and Sylvans and Lightsworn, really strong, powerful decks like that, that might be strong against Qliphorts, if they can outspeed them, will die really hard to Burning Abyss's heavy back row and Shadalls just stunning everything with Winda. So you might be able to build a deck that's really good against 2 out of the 3, but it's very difficult to build something that will be able to counter all 3, and if such a deck does exist, we haven't seen it yet. I'm sure that there are a lot of players out there right now testing stuff that will do that, but nothing has arisen yet. If you have your own ideas, you can take them to your locals, try them out there. And in a couple of weeks, the format's going to be changed again because we're going to be introduced to Nekroz and Heroes. A lot of people have been downplaying Heroes, saying that they won't do much, and Heroes on their own probably aren't going to exist as a deck. And as someone who played Heroes for a very long time, that saddens me. But I have to be realistic. Heroes have had some success in the OCG, but they did not have to deal with Burning Abyss as a deck, which here Dark Law is very strong against Burning Abyss, but Dark Law dies very hard to back row, which between Karma Cut and Wing Blast and Fire Lake, BA play a lot of. So Burning Abyss are probably going to shut down Heroes as an anti-meta deck. However, Heroes might show up as some techs in Shadal decks and give them another edge because Shadalls have been getting pushed to the wayside recently. However, Qliphorts also gain a huge advantage over Shadalls in Alias, with Qliphort Alias, which can bounce the Shadal monsters without anything being able to chain to them. So it's just like a better version of Carrier, which already gave Qliphorts a very strong edge over Shadalls. Additionally, there are those 3 new Burning Abyss monsters, which both search out Fire Lake and banish cards from the field. So the big issue with anti-meta decks after this comes out, after these cards all come out, is that the big 3 just get a lot better, and anti-meta decks are kind of in the same place as they were. Evil Swarm, Gear Gaia, and Satellarknights are all anti-meta choices that you can play and will probably reach some success with at your locals and possibly regionals, assuming you're a semi-competent player. However, for very strong competitive play like YCS level and ARGs, you're probably not going to be seeing any rogue decks, at least for this format. What I hope happens, looking at Spirit Beast and other upcoming archetypes, the power level seems to be scaled back a tad bit. So hopefully you can cross your fingers on this, that the power level will be scaled back a little bit after our next ban list. Qliphort, Shadalls, and Burning Abyss all get knocked down a little bit. Hopefully Nekoth get knocked down with them. I wouldn't count on it. But hopefully the power level in the game gets scaled back just a little bit, because having only 3 viable decks, which might be excellent if you're a super competitive player, it kind of sucks for the rest of us. So you can comment on this down below, and peace out, YouTube.